Govardhan Puja ki, Go Puja ki, Oh Sikiraj Maharaj ki. So we welcome you all to the Bhaktivedanta Swami Goshala and Gardens for our wonderful Govardhan Puja and Go Puja program. To begin the program today, we're going to sing one of Prabhupada's favorite songs about Vrindavan, Jai Radhe Jai Krishna Jai Vrindavan, because it mentions Govardhan Hill in this song. So either you, maybe on your, if you're getting tower here, you can find it on your device and follow along, or you follow along anyway. Jayo Radhe, Jayo Krishna, Jaya Vrindavan, Jaya Sri Govinda Gopi Nata Madana Moha Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Kalindi Jamuna Jaya Jaya Mahavan Keshigata Bamsi Bata Dvadasakana Jasabalila Koilo Srinandananda Srinanda Yashoda Jaya Jaya Gopaga Sri Ramali Jaya Jaya Denu Vatsaga Jaya Brisapanu Jaya Kirtida Sundari Jaya Brisapanu Jaya Kirtida Sundari Jaya Purnamati Jaya Abhiranagari Jaya Jaya Gopishwara Vrindavanama Jaya Jaya Gopishwara Vrindavanama Jaya Jaya Krishna Saka Bhattu Dvijara Jaya Jaya Rama Gata Rohini Nanda Jaya Jaya Krishna Jaya Jaya Vrindavana Basi Jata Jaya Jaya Vrindavana Basi Jata Jaya Dvija Pani Jaya Naga Kanyaga Jaya Dvija Patini Jaya Naga Kanyaga Bhakti Tejahara Pailo Govinda Chara Bhakti Tejahara Rasamandala Jaya Jaya Radha Shyam Jaya Jaya Rasa Lila Sarva Manora Jaya Jaya Jwala Rasa Sarva Rasa Sa Parakiya Bhave Jaha Brajete Praja Janava Pora Padma Puriya Smara Janava Para Padma Deena Krishna Dasa Kohe Nama Sankirtan Deena Krishna Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan Shri Govinda Gopinatha Madana Govinda Gopinatha Madana Moha Sri Govinda Gopinatha Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Jai Go Premanande. Oh, Sikiraj Maharaj ki. Om Agyan Jai Natalila Vishnu Vishnupad is Divine Grace Sila A.C. Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Sila Prabhupada ki. Jai Natalila Vishnu Vishnupad is Divine Grace Sila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Sila Prabhupada ki. Ananda Gauri Vaishnavini ki. Jai Sri Rup Sanatana Bhatragana Sri Jeev Gopala Vadasragana Sadgoswami Prabhu ki. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki. Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopi Go Shama Kun Radha Kun Giri Govardhana ki. Brajabhumi Vrindavan Dham ki. Sri Navadip Mayapur Dham ki. Sri Jagannath Puri Dham ki. Gangamai Jamunamai ki. Srimati Vrindadevi Tulsi Maharani ki. Srimati Bhakti Devi ki. Sri Harinam Sankirtan ki. Srila Prabhupada's Transcendental Book Distribution ki. Govardhan Puja Festival ki. Go Puja ki. Sri Sri Krishna Balarama ki. Jai Go Premanande. All glories to the Samada Bodhis. All glories to the Samada Bodhis. All glories to the Samada Bodhis. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru Gauranga. Glories to you, Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. So we welcome you to this annual festival of Govardhan Puja and Go Puja here in the very wonderful Bhaktivedanta Swami Goshala and Gardens. If you haven't been here before, now you know how to get here. And these, if you ask any of the workers here, the devotees, you can always get some of these cow laddus to feed the cows with your own hand. And it's also very nice. There's a very nice garden next door here where you can, very nice place to chant your japa. A little pond is there with lilies. Very nice place to chant your japa. So, and you're welcome. This is most auspicious day for giving charity for the cows. So I assume the tables are set up there for accepting charity. And many people don't know that this particular place, because now Jamuna has gone far away from here, but originally this Prikama Marg that we're walking on, this was the bank of the Jamuna. And many people don't know that actually this was one of the ghats of the Jamuna called Go Ghat. This is Go Ghat. Go Mata Ki, Sishi Sakri. So somehow or other, we're very fortunate. We're at the ghat called Go Ghat, and our Bhaktivedanta Swami Goshala and Garden is right on the Go Ghat. So this is very auspicious. Next ghat down the way is Kaliya Ghat, but this is Go Ghat. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chaksurun Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manubhistam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swaparandigam Aradhanastrinandandai Vridam Yache Puna Puna Srimad Rupa Padambujo Tulisyam Janma Janmani. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Panchakalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhubheva patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita mentions that there was a very beautiful Prikama mantra that Mahaprabhu, when he was circumambulating Govardhan Hill, a special mantra, you can find it in Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's also in, I believe it may be in either Gopi Gita or not the Gopi Gita. It must be in Venu Gita. Very beautiful mantra. It's in Srimad Bhagavatam, also in Chaitanya Charitamrita. You can learn this song. Very nice. Antaya madri avala haridasa bharjo yad Rama Krishna charanam sparasam pramoda manam tanoti sahago ganayos tayoryat Paniya suyavasa khandara khandamula. So everyone repeat. Hantayam adri abala haridasa bharjo yad Rama Krishna charanam sparsham pramoda Manam tanoti sahago ganayos tayoryat paniya suyavasa khandara khandamula. So now you try it. Antaya madri abala haridasa bharjo Haridasa Bharjo Yad Rama Krishna Charanam Sparasham Pramoda Rama Krishna Charanam Sparasham Pramoda Manam Tanoti Sahago Ganayos Tayoryat Manam Tanoti Sahago Ganayos Tayoryat Paniya Suyavasa Khandara Khandamulai Niyasuyavasa khandara khandamulai. So in Sanskrit, hanta means are, oh. Hantayam adri. Adri means hill. Just like we have a godbrother named Adri Dharan. Hantayam adri abala. This verse is being spoken by the gopis. And legend has it that the women are the weaker sex. So therefore the gopis address themselves abala, oh girls. Hantaya madri abala haridasa bharjo. This hill is the most bestest devotee of Hari. Haridasa bharjo. Just like there's many Haridasas like Uddhava and Yudhisthira, like that. But this is Haridasa Bharjo, the most bestest devotee of Hari. So by the proof of the gopis' own words, Govardhan is the most bestest devotee of Hari. Yad Rama Krishna. Now in Braj, when we talk about Rama Krishna, we're talking about Krishna and Balaram. Yad Rama Krishna Charanam. You all know Charan, right? Lotus feet. Sparsham. You maybe remember from Bhagavad-Gita, there's one verse where this word sparsham comes. What is that verse? Matra sparshastakun. To touch. To contact. Charan sparsham. All day long, Krishna and Balaram are running around on top of the hill herding the cows, so they're getting the charan sparsh, the touch of Krishna and Balaram's lotus feet. Pramoda, Maybe you have a friend, an Indian friend named Pramod. Pramod means joyful. So because he's getting the lotus feet, touch of the lotus feet of Krishna and Balaram, Giriraj is very joyful. In fact, when you go there and see Giriraj, you'll see all its hairs are standing on end. If you've been to Govardhan, you saw all its hairs are standing on end. He's getting the touch of the lotus feet of Krishna and Balaram. That's not the only reason why he's joyful. Manam tanoti. Manam means to honor. Or we can say it as serve also. Because he's serving the Vaishnavas and the devotees. Manam tanoti sahago ganayos tayoryat. First he's serving cow. Manam tanoti sahago. We know go means cow. Manam tanoti sahago ganayos. The cowherd boys, the Vaishnava, he's serving cow and Vaishnava. Tayor, those two, Krishna and Balaram. Last is coming Lord. First we have to serve cow and Vaishnava, then we can become qualified to serve the Lord. Manam tanoti sahago ganayos tayoryat, those two, Krishna and Balaram. And how he's serving? Paniya. Just like our foreign devotees, the first word they learned, because ordinarily when they come to Vrindavan, it's very hot, not like today. So everybody, the first Hindi word they learn, pani. So Govardhan is supplying pani. We don't see by our material eyes, but in the scriptures, the descriptions are there that there's pure water cascading down the sides of Govardhan, and beautiful pools and kunds are there for the cowherd boys to drink and splash and play and cows to drink. So it's pani. And Biswanath Chakravarti Thakur said not just pani, but amras, mango juice, is also being supplied by Govardhan. Or pilu ras, there's a special tree that grows in Braj, gives little tiny burgundy colored fruits called pilu. So pilu ras and amras and madhu. Madhu means honey. Shahad, he's giving nice honey dripping from the trees. Pani is suyavasa. Suyavasa means grass. He's giving nice grass for the cows. Nice, luscious, juicy grass to make the cows fatty to give lots of milk. Pani is suyavasa. Also, he's giving that durva grass we use for the puja. You know this durva grass we use in the puja. He's also supplying that. Pani is suyavasa kandara. Just like we know Rupa Goswami wrote one verse. Bahasachi. Sadavridaya kandare bahasachi nandana. May Sachi Nandan always be in the kandara, the cave. There's so many caves on Govardhan Hill to supply shade for the cowherd boys, to give them shelter from the rain. Just like yesterday we had rain, very surprisingly. Not surprising, this is rainy season, so not surprising, but it hasn't rained for 2 months. And Radha and Krishna perform very most confidential pastimes in the caves of Govardhan. So Govardhan is very special. He gets to see the intimate pastimes of Radha and Krishna. Kandara kanda mulai. Kanda mulai. Kanda means fruits, and mulai means roots, just like we see all the push carts nowadays. They all have this big like white radish we call muli. So he's supplying the cowherd boys with fruits and roots. Because Brijbasi boys, they're hungry 24 hours a day. So Gira is supplying fruits and roots and so many things. So you can go to Chaitanya Charitamrita, or you can find this verse in Srimad Bhagavatam and learn this verse. Next time you do Prikrama of Govardhan, you can chant this verse. It describes in Chaitanya Charitamrita that Mahaprabhu is chanting this verse. So right after Dangati, where the hill starts to become very tall, there's an area that stretches all the way up to the next village, which is called Anior. And that is called Anakut Kshetra. Ana means grain, and Kut, just like we know Chitrakoot. Kut means mountain. This is where the original Anakut festival, where mountains and mountains and grains were offered to Krishna. So what happened, Because Krishna saw that Nanda Baba was making preparation for some type of big function. Looks like a big yajna. So he went to Baba. He said, Baba, what is the purpose of this function? Who is the Devata that you're worshipping? And what will be the result of this sacrifice? And Nanda Baba was very busy. He thought, Lala's just a little boy. What will he understand about these things? So he just ignored him, didn't speak to him. Because sometimes, those who are householders, you know, the children, they speak to them, sometimes you just let it go one ear and go out the other and don't pay any attention. So then Krishna became a little upset. He said, Are Baba, from outsiders we may keep secrets, but from within the family, why should we keep secrets? Please tell me, what is the purpose of the yoga? Is this something we do regularly or just sometimes? Or what is the purpose? What is the result of this sacrifice? So Nanda Maharaj, he saw Lala's very persistent. He said, Lala, we depend on the cows. And the cows depend on grass and grains. And grass and grains come from the rains. And the rains come from Indra. So every once in a while we like to do the Indra Puja, worship Lord Indra, in order to get nice rains, to get nice grains. And then, most astonishingly, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself began to preach atheism. He began to tell Baba, what is the use of worshipping any Indra, any Devata? Rain is coming automatically. You don't need to do any worship. Rain is falling in the ocean. What is the use of water in the ocean? Who's worshipping some Indra in the ocean? It falls in the desert sometimes, on the rocks. What is the use of rain on the rocks? Nothing going to grow there. He began to preach karma mimamsa philosophy. Just do your work, automatically the rains will come. Just like almost every school I've been to in India, they have sign on the wall. Work is worship. So therefore Prabhupada said the ass is the best worshipper. You just do your work. Rain will come automatically. No need to worship any Indra or anything. And in fact, he said, Baba, actually, we're getting nice grass and everything, and nice water and everything from Govardhan. Instead of worshipping this Indra, let's worship Govardhan instead. We have more relation with Govardhan than some Indra. So finally, Nanda Baba said, all right, Lala, since you're telling, we'll do worship of Govardhan Hill. But for now, let me finish my Indra Puja. And Baba said, but Lala said, but Baba, it took so much time to collect all this grains and ghee and everything. Better we do it now. It'll take a long time before we can worship Govardhan Hill. Anyhow, Lala convinced Baba that they should cancel the Indra Puja, instead do Govardhan Puja. Then Lala told them the recipe. You have to offer this, mountains and mountains of rice. Kutta means mountain. Mountains and mountains of rice with ghee and butter flowing on top. Mountains and mountains of baskets of puris fried in ghee. Mountains and mountains of pots of paneer sabji made with nice paneer from the milk. All milk products, Krishna was telling. And mountains of pots of rasgullas. And mountains of pots of gulab jamuns. And mountains of baskets of sandesh. And mountains of baskets of pakoras and samosas. And so many things. Lakes full of sweet rice and nectar. And he made a big, long list. But especially mentioned things, much to the chagrin of all of our vegan friends, he gave order for so many milk products. Because these are very important. Milk will give very fine brain power to understand Krishna consciousness. And he said, you offer all these things to Giriraj, and then we'll circumambulate the hill, and this way we can perform the Govardhan Puja. So the Brishbasis on that whole area, that's called Anakut Kshetra, from Anior, just before you get back to Dangati, that is all called Anushuche, the mountains and mountains of all these different types of foodstuffs. And when everything was ready to offer, then suddenly Govardhan expanded in another form of Krishna, huge form of Krishna appeared on top of the hill. And Krishna said to all, the little Krishna said to all the Brishbasis, just see how Govardhan has assumed this form to accept all of your offerings. Did your Indra ever appear? Did your Indra ever appear? Just see how Govardhan has appeared. And Govardhan looked down and he saw, his eyes got very big. Saw all this bhoga there. And Giriraj made an asan and he sat down and he began to eat everything. And he was just a little boy, so there's so much bhoga is there, he began to eat with both hands, not just right hand, but right hand, left hand. And you can see in the Janmastan temple, there's a painting, actually he had hundreds of right hands and hundreds of left hands, and bloop, 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 bloop. In a few minutes he ate everything up. And then he began to cry, Anior, Anior, give me more, give me more. And all the Brishbasis said, but Baba, whatever we had, we've offered, there's nothing left, please be satisfied. And in true Brishbasi fashion, Krishna began to follow or actually the Brishbasis, they follow Krishna. Just like if you give them 5 rupees, they want 10. If you give 10, they want 50. If you give 50, they want 100. If you give 100, they want 5. If you give 5, they want 2. 2,000. So Yadhyadacharti Shrestha, the Brishbasis are following Krishna. He began to cry, Anior, Anior, give me more, give me more. And Nanda Baba said, but everything we had, we offered, there's nothing left, please be satisfied. Anior, Anior, give me more, give me more. And Krishna came and he shrugged his shoulders, but with everything we had, we offered. There's nothing left. You please be satisfied. Anior, Anior, give me more, give me more. And then some Brahmins came and they gave Krishna some very nice, fresh tulsi manjaris. And Krishna took that handful of tulsi manjaris, he offered it to the big Krishna on top of the hill. The big Krishna took those manjaris, popped them in his mouth, and he says, Triptosmi, Triptosmi, now I'm fully satisfied. Maybe on the recordings you've heard Prabhupada say, full satisfaction. Then you understand what is full satisfaction. And when Giriraj, that big Krishna, was satisfied, fully satisfied, then suddenly all the mountains and mountains of prasadam reappeared. All the lakes of sweet rice and nectar and everything, yogurt and everything, reappeared. Baskets and baskets and buckets and balti and pots, everything reappeared on top of the hill. So then they served out prasadam to everyone. Prabhupada said everyone, even the chandalas, even to the dogs. Everybody was served prasadam. So Prabhupada said on Govardhan Puja we should serve prasadam profusely. And even people were throwing prasadam. And Prabhupada said, just to prove that prasadam never be contaminated, the Brishbasis would pick it up off the ground and very joyfully eat it. In this way, keeping all the cows in front, they performed prikrama of Giriraj. So meanwhile, Indra, he realized that his Indra Puja had been stopped. And he became very angry. And he called for the Sambardika clouds. When there's need of destruction by water, then we call the Sambardika cloud. And he told them, these simple village people, they're listening to this talkative fellow who's very foolish and Baliyasam, Pachalam Baliyasam. What else did he say? Stabda. He's very arrogant. This way he insulted Krishna. But by grace of Goddess Saraswati, all of his insults became praises. He said Krishna is Vachalam, talkative. But if we see the Sanskrit from another direction, Vachalam means one who always speaks on Vedic authority. When we speak, we should always speak on Vedic authority. Baliyasa means foolish, like a child, but we can take a child is also unpretentious, simple. Krishna is very simple. And Stabda, arrogant, means everyone bows down before him. Naradhama, he said he's the lowest of mankind. But we see means that everyone is lower than him. This way, every insult became praised by Goddess Aswarani. So I want you to go there and destroy these Brishbasis along with their cows. And the cows got a little worried. And he said, don't worry, I'm coming behind on my Airavata elephant. So suddenly in Braj, all the skies became black. It's like we almost have, it's gray today, but completely black. We're getting the multimedia presentation today. So, black clouds everywhere, and suddenly became just as dark as evening, even in daytime. And cold winds began to blow, and rain began to pour, and chunks of ice were coming, and it was just raining. In English we say cats and dogs, in Hindi we say musuldhara. I forget what they say in Russian. I remember, I used to know. Anyways, it's raining like anything. It's suddenly high ground and low ground. No one could tell the difference. Everything was flooded, and the cows were crying. Everybody was in great distress. And when the Brishbasis are in distress, they all run to Krishna. And they all, let me see if I can remember this first. Krishna Krishna Mahabhaga Tvam Natham Gopkulam Prabhu Pratum Arasi Devana Kupitad Bhaktavatsala. This Deva, Kupita, he's become angry with us. Krishna Krishna Mahabhaga, oh greatly fortunate Krishna. Gokulam Prabhu, you're the Lord of the cows and the cowherd people. Pratum Arasi, please save us. Bhaktavatsala, you're very kind to all your devotees. So then Krishna came and he told the Brishbasis, don't worry. And he lifted up the hill of Govardhan with his left hand. Now if we want to do some heavy work, we'll use our right hand. But Krishna used his left hand just to show that it's nothing for him. And we heard he lifted it with his finger, but actually Sanatana Goswami in his Vaishnava Tosani, he said Krishna lifted it with his left hand and held it high in the sky. And all the Brishbasis, he told, now you bring your cows and come underneath the hill. Then Mother Yasoda was seeing Krishna was holding the hill with his left hand. She became very worried. Then Sanatana Goswami says Krishna put it on his little finger. Look, Ma, it's no problem. It's no problem, Ma. And Madhamango chirped up, he said, Are Maya, there's no problem. I'm chanting my Brahmanical mantras by my Brahma Tejas. The hill is standing there. He said, Ma, he's staying by his own will. You don't worry about a thing. In this way, all the Brishbasis came under the hill and they were completely protected from the rain and wind and everything. Actually, Krishna manifested this pastime as a very special mercy on all of the Brishbasis. Because now, for 7 days and 7 nights, everyone was seeing the beautiful moon-like face of Krishna, Mukha Chandra. Because nobody sees Krishna all the time. In the morning, his parents and his close friends see him. Then when he goes through the village out to the cowherd fields, everybody sees him. The girls run to the roofs to see him. Then he's with the cowherd boys all day and the cows. In the evening he comes back and all the girls run to the roof to see him. And everyone in the village sees him. Then again he's in his house with just his parents and his close friends and servants. Then he sneaks out in the night, he's with the gopis all night. But nobody's with Krishna all the time. Now Krishna arranged this Leela so that he could be with all the Brishbasis 24 hours a day. And they didn't feel hungry, they didn't feel thirsty, they didn't feel tired, they didn't feel sleepy. They were very, very peacefully, ecstatically watching, staring at the beautiful Mukha Chandra moon-like face of Krishna. Huh? Not like you. You guys all thinking, when this guy's going to stop, we can go eat all the prasad. Huh? No thirst, no hunger. For 7 days and 7 nights. Meanwhile, in Gopal Champu and another Vrindavan Champu, Gopal Champu was Jiva Goswami and another Vrindavan Champu was Kavi Karnapur. They give so many wonderful details. Indra came, he began to throw his thunderbolts at the hill, and nothing was happening. Ordinarily, a thunderbolt hits a hill, it bursts. Nothing was happening. Indra was completely astounded. Then he looked carefully and he saw that Krishna was standing under the hill, holding it with his left little finger. Then he realized the position of Krishna. And he said, oh, now I've made a big mistake. I'm in big trouble. And he told all those clouds, make yourself scarce, get out of here quick, we're in big trouble. Oh, we forgot one thing, one detail from Ananda Vrindavan Champu. That while they were under the hill, Mother Yasoda was massaging Krishna's arm. Huh? You're not tired, Lala? It's okay, Maya, there's no problem. You sure you don't want some butter? Huh? No, Maya, it's okay. And Mother Mangal said, wait a minute, you speak for yourself. Bring that butter. And Ananda Vrindavan Champu and Gopal Champu described the most astonishing thing, underneath the hill, there was a whole wonderful place. And our paintings, all we see is dirt, because he lives up a hill, so naturally dirt will be there, right? But they saw beautiful parks and gardens and beautiful archways made of flowers and creepers and lakes filled with swans and beautiful palatial buildings and chhatris and domes and so many. Whole wonderful place was under all the Brishpasis were astonished. It wasn't just dirt underneath the hill, there was a whole wonderful place they never saw before. They were amazed. So meanwhile, Indra, he went back to his Indraloka and he was very worried. So when all the clouds disappeared, then Krishna told all the Brishpasis that they saw the sun come out. He said, now you can come outside and with all your cows. And all the Brishpasis came outside from the hill and they saw everything was very wonderful. And Krishna placed the hill back on the spot where it was. And from that day he became known as Giridhari. Bhagiraj Dharna Ki. So Indra was very worried. And Mother Sachi, she's even more worried. Because he just sits there. He doesn't come home. He doesn't go to sleep. He doesn't eat. He's just sitting on his throne. And there's nothing that drives the woman more crazy is when the man becomes quiet. There's nothing that drives the man more crazy than the woman doesn't stop talking. But the women, they can't stand it when the man becomes quiet. But that's for another sociology class another day. We're running out of time. So, and she was thinking, oh, iska mood kharab ho gaya. He's in bad mood, I better not go there. So she was a smart lady. She went to Brihaspati, Guru. She can't go there in front of him, but Guru can go. And she told Brihaspati, I don't know, he doesn't talk, he doesn't speak, he doesn't eat, he doesn't sleep, he doesn't come to his room. I don't know what's wrong, something's bothering him. Because women, they're very intuitive, they know something's wrong. So, Brihaspati, he went there, and he asked Indra, what's the matter? And Indra explained to him everything. And Brihaspati said, oh, now you really blew it. Now you're in big trouble. Only way to save yourself is you take shelter of a devotee. Specifically, you take shelter of the Surabhi from the Golok. Because she's not only a devotee, she's a cow. We know Krishna likes cows and devotees. So this is our position. We're great offenders. We can't approach Krishna directly. So we need some Vaishnava to intercede on our behalf. That is why we're all very fortunate to have Prabhupada interceding on all our behalves. We see at the end of most of Prabhupada's letters, he always says, I'm praying to Krishna that all you young boys and girls advance in Krishna consciousness. So this is the position. We have to take shelter of the Vaishnava. The Vaishnava can intercede for us. So Indra came back riding on Airavata with Surabhi. Meanwhile, next day, Krishna was going around the hill with all the cows and all the cowherd boys. He was on inspection tour. Yad yadacharati shreshtas. Whatever the common men, the great man does, the common men will follow. So just like as soon as there's tsunami, earthquake, flood or something, the CM or PM or president, he flies in on his helicopter inspection tour. So they're all following Krishna. Krishna was doing the original inspection tour, what happened by the rain. But by Giriraj's grace, there was nothing wrong. So they're going around the hill, seeing everything, doing their inspection tour. And meanwhile, Indra came down with Airavata. Now, Airavata not only is a huge elephant, but he's not just got one trunk, he has many, many trunks. And all the cows, they took one look at this huge elephant. I seen it one time for Prabhupada's procession. We used to have an elephant, and we would have a bullock cart distributing prasad, and those bulls, they take one look at that elephant, and the cows and bulls, their eyes are already big, boop, they got bigger. And the bulls, they're always going forward, they don't stop for anything. See, they're telling. They start going backwards. They never go back, but they start going backwards. So the cows, they saw this huge elephant. You ever see cows run? You guys all live in cities, you never even see cows. But when cows run, they put their tail in the sky like a warning flag. Danger, danger, danger. And they run and they kick backwards this way and this way, kicking backwards as they run. Like that. So all the cows, they put their tails in the sky and they all ran off, and all the cowherd boys ran after the cows. Meanwhile, Indra got down from his elephant, Airavata, and he paid his sastang pranam, dandavats, in the dust of Braj. The king of heaven lay down in the dust of Braj. And Krishna walked by and didn't even see him from the corner of 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 his eye. Then Indra thought, I'm in big trouble. So, then he went to Surabhi. He said, quick, you got to do something. So they went on the other side of the hill from this place. There's a village called, there's a beautiful kund, called Surabhi Kund, where all our offenses are forgiven. And Surabhi went there and said, look, Indra, he's actually your devotee. He got a little puffed up. You don't like pride in your devotees. You please forgive him. Just like the parents, the children, they do so many rascal things. The parents get so angry, but they always forgive the child and always love the child. You should forgive Indra. He's actually your devotee. He's sorry. So because Surabhi interceded on behalf of Indra, then Krishna decided, all right. Then they went to the other side of the hill. And Airavata went up to the Akash Ganga, that celestial Ganga. Not this Ganga where sinful people like you and me are bathing. The Akash Ganga where only pious people are bathing. And he began to pour that water on Krishna to do Abhishek. And Surabhi, right from her udder, she began to pour milk. And this beautiful Abhishek ceremony was going on. And all the demigods began to come. And all the rishis and sages, even the 7 rishis came, and they came with beautiful presentations. The rishis, the Sapta rishis, they brought beautiful jeweled lotuses from the heavenly kingdom. But because the moon had come, we know the lotuses are the friend of the sun. The sun is the friend of all the lotuses. All the lotuses closed up. They had these beautiful jeweled lotuses, but they closed up. But then the sun god came, Surya came. Immediately all the lotuses blossomed again, and they offered them to Krishna. And all the Gandharvas were singing, the Kinnaras were playing musical instruments like this, and all the Apsaras came. They were trained up by Indradumna Maharaj. They were all dancing very nicely. And this big Abhishek festival was going on. And after the Abhishek, that water Abhishek water performed a beautiful kun. Then they gave Krishna a dry cloth and they dressed him very nicely, and Indra took a crown and he sat Krishna down and crowned him as Govinda. Till then he was known as Gopal. From that day he became known as Govinda. And Jiva Goswami in Gopal Champu explains, just like we've heard the word Narendra, Nar, man, Indra. The Indra amongst the men means the king. Just like in Loi Vichar, there's one chap, Gangotri, run by Narendra. Yogendra, the greatest of the yogis, Mahendra. So Govind, the Indra of the cows, means the king of the cows. What is the secret meaning? Jiva Goswami explains that all the 33 crore demigods live in the body of the cow. So if Krishna becomes king of the cow, Govinda, he automatically becomes king of Indra and all the demigods. So then they did Abhishek, then they did Artik. And they had very opulent Artik paraphernalia, gold and silver and pearls and rubies and diamonds, gold covered conch shells, silver yak-tail fans and peacock fans and rubies and diamonds and pearls, all opulent Artik paraphernalia. And all the Brahmins, all the rishis were there chanting the Vedic mantras in perfect rhyme and reason. Sahasra Sirsa Purusa. Like that, everything was going on, and Krishna was sitting there on the throne, nodding his head, and all the demigods said, now Krishna is satisfied. After the ceremony, they bowed down, and they all went back to their respective places. Meanwhile, all the cowherd boys came back from rounding up the cows, and they came there and they saw Krishna sitting with this big crown, and they saw all this opulent Artik paraphernalia. And they began to pick it up and they began to play Artik. And the rishis, they were chanting with perfect rhyme and meter, beautiful songs like this. The Brishbasis, they were just singing little Brishbasi songs. They're not even singing in tune. The Brishbasi boys, they don't know how to sing, So they were just singing their Brishbasi song. Arati Kunja Bihari Ki Sri Giridhari Krishna Murari Ki Arati Kunja Bihari. And all Krishna was just laughing and laughing, enjoying like anything. All the demigods were up in the clouds. They said, we don't even have a whiff of love for Krishna like these Brishbasis. Krishna was just officially accepting our Artik. He's actually accepting the Artik of these Brishbasis. And then Nanda Baba appeared. Then Nanda Baba appeared on the scene because he heard something about gold and silver and ruby and diamond. He said, first this guy's stealing butter, now what else is he up to? And they all came there and they looked at the cowherd boy. He said, where you got all this gold and silver and pearl and diamond? He said, Baba, we just found it. Yeah, right. You just found all this gold and silver and pearl and diamond. Yeah, right. And Madhumangal spoke up, no, Baba, they don't know. I saw everything, Baba, because this guy came on this elephant. This elephant came, Baba. I never saw an elephant like that, huge, with many, many trunks. And all the cows ran away, and everybody ran after them. I'm lame, so I stayed behind in the bushes. I saw everything. They didn't see anything, Baba. Trust my heart, hope to die. Such bolru, Baba, jutne bolru, Baba. I'm telling the truth. And this guy got off the elephant. Baba, I swear to God, he had eyes all over his whole body. And he paid his obeisance, and Krishna just walked right by him. Then this cow came, Baba. I never saw a cow like that, Baba. And she began to speak to Krishna. Then they came here, and the elephant went up in the sky, and he came back in this wonderful water. He began to bathe Krishna, and the cow began to bathe Krishna. And then all these people came. Jutne Boru, Baba. This guy came with 4 heads, Baba, 4 heads. May such Boru. A guy came with 5 heads, Baba, this big snake around his neck. Then these guys came and they were singing. I never heard songs like that, Baba. And then these guys were playing instruments. Baba, I never saw instruments like that. Then these girls came. Oh, Baba, I never saw girls like that. And they were all dancing. And then this guy with all the eyes, he put this crown, and they did this artik, and then they went away, and the boys just found it. They don't know what happened, Baba. I saw everything. Then a voice from the sky told Baba that Nanda, just like thunder, a voice came, said, now you crown Krishna as Govinda. Because that was the official one. This is the real one with love. And Nanda Baba crowned Krishna as Govinda. From that day to that day he was known as Gopal. From this day he became known as Govinda. And the Abhishek water formed a kund that is known as Govinda Kund. And anyone who takes bath in that kund, he gets Govinda Prem. Bolo Zigiraj Maharaj Ki Jai. So we're a little over time, but I thank you for this wonderful opportunity to serve you in this way by reciting this Govardhan Katha. And now we have breakfast, and then there's Abhishek and Big Hill in the temple room and many other programs for you. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.